Hello, so good evening to all. So over here I am going to explain you the solutions of the four problems, which are this: just first the pattern, second how to write a program to compute the sum of all the multiples of 3 and 5 below 500, third write a program to find the common element in the two given list, and the fourth one this program I am going to read when I am going to solve it. So starting with the first one. So whenever we need to write a program for the pattern, the first thing that we need to try to get is to analyze the pattern in such a way what is pattern in it. Over here, if you look at this particular pattern, the pattern is that when we are in the first line, then only one number is there, 1. When we are in the second line, then we are displaying two number, means the maximum integer we go to 2. When we are in the third row, then maximum integer is 3. When we are in the fourth, then the maximum integer is 4. When we are in the fifth one, then the maximum integer is 5. It means it is as per the number, right? So if it is as per the row number, so if we are in the first row, then we have to print up to the row number. So for that, what we can do, we can first ask the user to enter the length. Let it be 5 over here. We can ask the user to enter the number of rows that user want to print. Thereafter, I need to start with a loop. Okay, so if I start with a loop something like for I in range 0 to 5, means why 0 to 5? Because I need to display, or let it be 1 to 6. Why 1 to 6? Because I first need to go to first row, second row, third row, fourth row, and fifth row. So this I will be able to go with the help of this, right? So now if I again in the first row, I just have to print one number. In the second row, I need to print two number, and so on. In the third, 1, 2, 3. So these numbers can be printed if I put another loop within this I loop, and this loop, let it be j in range. Now what will be this range? This range, it is starting from 1, but up to what number? We are going to the number of I. When I is 1, we are printing only 1. When I is 2, we are printing up to 2. When I is 3, we are printing up to 3, and so on. It means our range, it will be 1, I plus 1. Why I plus 1? Because we know that in range, the number, the last I plus 1, this 6 is not included. The range will go from 1 to 5. Similarly, this range will go from 1 to I. Right? So now if I simply display this number, print j, right, and equals to this. Why I put this? Because now if I look at this, in the starting, the value of I is 1, right? Now when I is 1, we are in this loop, and this loop will iterate from 1 to 1, means j will have only one value. So we are going to print 1, and then space is there. After that, we will go to the I loop again, and the value of I will be incremented to 2. Okay, so now when I is 2, now the range of j, it will be from 1 to I plus 1, means 1 to 3. But since 3 is not included, so the value of j will be only 1 and 2. So when value of j is 1 will be printed. When the value of j is 2, then 2 will be printed, separated with a space. But to go to the next line, we need to put this. With the help of this print command, we will be able to shift to the next line. After printing the number in this loop, we will be able to go to the next line, right? So if I execute this now, then you can see simply I will get a pattern 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But over here, the problem is that we also need to display the reverse. Once I am able to get 1 2, but not this number. I am able to get 1 2 3, but I also want to print the reverse. It means before coming to the next line, means before coming to this line, I have to print 2 1 also. Before coming to this line, I have to print this one also. So how I can do it? So to print this, over here we have put one loop. Similar to this, we can put another loop before going to the next line. We are going to the next line with the help of this print. So before going to the next line, we can have another loop, and this loop again, it will be JN. Now what will be the range? The range will be from over here. We are going to, if the value of I is 4, then the range, this J range, it will be from 3 to 1, right? So it means this will be I minus 1 to 0. Since 0 is not included, so it will be from I minus 1 to 1, right? So, and then I will again, let me copy this. So this. So with the help of this, we will be able to print the reverse number also. So let me execute this. 4j in I minus 1. Okay, I need to put the step size also. Now you can see over here I am getting the output as desired. 1 1 2 1 1 2 3 2 1 1 2 3 and this. So I am getting the desired. So what I put? Minus 1. Why I put minus 1? Because over here I minus 1, when I is 3, then this will be 2. So from going from 2 to 0, it will be possible only when we put step size as minus 1. When I did not put step size as minus 1, then in that case the default step size is 1. So means if I do not put this, then the default step size is 1, and in that case, if this value is 2, then it will not go to 1, and the loop will terminate in the starting itself. And it is the reason that this is not, we are not getting a print for this thing. So to get a print, I need to put the step size, so that after 2 we will be able to go to 1, then after 2 we will be able to go to 1, and so on, right? So in this way we can get the pattern. And whenever pattern questions are there, simply we need to analyze the pattern, and we need to get some idea like what is the row number, if there is any link between the row number and the maximum number that is over here. So in that way only we can write a program. So this is about the first one. Now going to the second problem. Going to the second problem, over here the question is that we need to write a program to compute the sum of all the multiples of 3 and 5 below 500, right? So just a minute. So I hope the question is right. Let me check once. It is 3 or 5 or 3 and 5? It is 3 or 5. It is not or. In the question it is given 3 or 5, right? So the question is that we need to compute the sum of all the multiples of 3 or 5 below 500. So first question is, what is this number? So if we look at this 12, so 12 is a multiple of 3, so but it is not a multiple of 5. But over here, since it is 3 or 5, it means 12 is one such number, that is a multiple of 3. So we are going to include this in this sum. If we talk about 15, now 15 is the multiple of both 3 and 5. So again we are going to include this in this sum. If we talk about simple like 25, then it is just a multiple of 5. It is not the multiple of 3. But since over here it is mentioned or, so it means we are going to include this number also in this sum, right? And so how we can get whether the number is divisible by 3 or 5? So to get this, we know that we have the modulus symbol. So if the number is 5, simply if I execute this, I am going to get 1. Why? Because the remainder is 1. If I divide, take the modulus with 5, then the number is 0 because the remainder is 0, right? So in this way I can get the whether the number is divisible by 3 or 5 or not. So the over here, one more thing, we need to check all the numbers below 500. Means the first step that we need is the loop. We need to make a loop that will start from 1 to 500. So to include 500, we need to mention 501. So in this way we are able to get the loop. Now within the loop, now we need to check whether this I is divisible by 3. It will be divisible by 3 if the remainder is 0. So if this is true, then it is divisible by 3. We also need to check if this is divisible by 5. If it is divisible by 5, then this will be true. And we connected with OR because in the question it is OR. Means either this condition is true or this condition is true. We are going to include it in the sum. So let S is equals to S plus I. Let me start S with 0. So initially S is 0. In S we are going to get the sum of all the values of I that are multiple of 5 or 3 or both, right? So over here, if this condition is true, means either this or both. If this condition overall, if this condition is true, then we are going to add I into the sum, right? And this procedure, this iterations will continue till 500. So simply thereafter, at the end of this loop, I will be able to get the sum of all the numbers that are divisible by 3 or 5. And then simply I can display sum. Let me copy it from here. Sum of all multiples of 3 or 5 below 500 is, and then S. So it is 58418. To check whether it is a correct answer or not, instead of 501, let me put up to 15 so that manually we can try. Okay, so if it is 45. So let's manually check what are the multiples of 3 and 5. So if we start with 1, 1, 2, first number will be 3, then 6, then 5, then 6, then 9, then 12, then 15. So this will be the numbers that lie before 15. Okay, this 15 is not included over here because it will go from 1 to 14. So it is not the part of this. So only these numbers will, the sum of this number should come out to be 45 if this program is correct. So 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 6 is 14, 14 plus 9 is 25, plus 12. Let me check again. 12, 21, 27, 27, 30, 35. So okay, one number is missing, that is the 10, right? So now the sum is of these numbers is 45. So we are getting the correct answer, right? So in this way easily we can check whether we have written a correct program or not. So this is the solution of the second program. Now coming to the third one, over here we need to write a program to find the common element in the two given list. So over here, let the two list is this, right? And to get the common numbers in the two list, simply what we have to do, over here I create two list. In the first loop I will with the help of first loop, I will go to the element by element of list 1. Means this loop for I in list 1. In the first iteration, I will get the value of first value of list 1. In the second iteration, I will get the second value of list 1, and so on. Right? Now, after this I loop, now when we come inside it, so over here we are going to check whether this I is present in list 2 or not. So with the help of this membership operator, simply we can find this out. Okay, because we know that with the help of this membership operator, this I in list 2, simply like in the starting the value of I is 1. So it is going to check if 1 is present in this list or not. If it is present, then this will be true. If it is not present, then this will be false. So since 1 is not present, so in the first case it will be false, right? So since it is false, it is not going to go inside it, right? And if it is if like 2 is present in this list, so this will be true, and if it is true, then it is going to display the element, right? So simply if I execute this, so it is executing, like, let me remove this, right, so that we will be able to display the exact numbers that are common in the two lists. So you can see output is 2 4 6, and over here simple list 1 2 3 4 5 6 in list 1, and 2 4 6 8 10, right? Multiples of 2. So the common are 2 4 and 6. So we are able to get the answer, right? So simply using the first loop, we will go to each element of list 1, and then using the if condition, simply we are going to check whether the particular element, this I, is present in list 2 or not. If it is present, we are going to display this. Now in this same question, suppose if there is no element common in the two list, then we should display that there is no common element. So to get that thing, what we can do, we can use the flag. Let we have one variable flag, and we put the value as 0. So over here, if flag is 0, okay, if one element is common, like if this condition is true, then it means that at least there is one element that is common in both the elements, both the list. So if there is no common, if the list is common, so inside this, what I can do, I can put flag equals to 1. It means that after the execution, after all the iterations of this I loop, if the value of flag is 1, then this one value will indicate that at least there is one element common in both the list. Because if one element is common, at least one element is common, then only this condition will be true, and then only we will be able to come over here. That makes flag value as 1. If at the end of this loop, if the flag value remains 0, then it means there is no common element present in the list. So it means over here, if I check if flag is equals to 0, then it means that there is no common element, and I can display the same instruction to the user. There is no common elements in the two lists. So if I execute this program, since the two lists have a common element, so 2 4 6 are displayed. Now if I change the value, let it be 12 14 16 18, right? Now if I execute this, since no element is common, so you can see the output displays there is no common element in the two lists, right? So with the help of this flag, we will be able to determine whether our program is able to execute, is able to come to this part or not. And if it is able to come to this part, then it will be possible only when there is at least one common element in the two list, right? So in this way, this third problem can be solved. Now coming to the fourth one, and the fourth one is that if suppose if you have X number of 5 rupees coin and Y number of 1 rupee coin, you want to purchase an item for an amount of Z, means you the product price is Z. The shopkeeper wants you to provide exact change, means what shopkeeper is not going to return, do not want to return any money, right? So you want to pay using a minimum number of coins. Now this particular sentence is very important. It means that you will try to give 5 rupee coins, maximum number of 5 rupee coins, so that minimum number of coins you will be able to get, right? So if uh, how many you need to get, how many 5 rupees rupee coins and 1 rupee coins you will use. If exact change is not possible, then display 1. So now over here, how you are going to do this problem? To do this problem, let's take that instead of getting the input from the user, let's take that C1 is the total number of 1 rupee coin, C5 is the total number of 5 rupee coins that are present. So it means 3 coins of 5 rupee, 31 coins of C1, and the total amount that we want to pay to the shopkeeper, let it be 19. Okay, so instead of asking the user to enter and write the statements over here, I just take the number, so that I will change the number over here itself. Now since first of all we need to check, we want to pay the maximum number of 5 rupee coins, right? So how to get that, how many 5 rupee coins we can pay? So whatever is the amount, right, first of all we can execute this command. This E5 over here is that how many 5 rupees coins I will pay. Okay, so amount truncating division 5. So what it is going to return? So if it is 19 divided by 5, it is going to return how much? 3. It means 3 5 rupees coins, 5 rupees coins we can pay to the shopkeeper, right? But over here it is 3, but there may be a chance that we suppose if we just have 2 coins of rupees 5, then we cannot give 3 coins, right? So it means we have to check whether this E5 expected rupees 5 coins, if it is available or not. If it is not available, then it means we will pay only this amount of this number of 5 rupees coins. So once I get E5, then I will check if this number of 5 rupees coins are available or not. So if E5 is greater than the number of coins required, 5 rupees coins is greater than the number of coins that I have, then it means I can provide only this amount of coins, C5, to the shopkeeper. So I will give this 2 coins to the shopkeeper. It means I will update the value of E5 as C5, right? But suppose if I have total number of 5 rupees coins, I have, let it be 6. So, and I need only 3. So it means in that case E5 should be 3, right? So if E5 is not greater than C5, if this condition is false, in this case we are not going to update the value of E5, then E5 will remain 3. So we are going to update the value of E5 as C5 only when the required 5 rupees coins are more than the number of coins that we have, right? So in this way, at the end, up to this part, we will be able to know how many 5 rupee coins we need to give to the shopkeeper. Now once I get the number of rupee 5 coin that we need to give to the shopkeeper, now we can check that what is the amount left. So total amount minus E5 into 5. So this is the total amount that we can give using the 5 rupee coin, right? E5 is the number of 5 rupee coins that we are going to give to the shopkeeper into 5. So total amount minus the amount that we actually have to pay. So it means E1 will be the total number of total amount that we need to pay using rupee 1 coin. Now again, once we get E1, means the number of coins, number of rupee 1 coin that we need to give to the shopkeeper. Once we get even, then we need to check whether this even number of coins are available or not. So over here we are checking this, that if E1 is less than or equal to C1, means if E1 is, if the required 1 rupee coin, if it is more than C1, it means we cannot buy a product. We are running short of money, right? We are running short of money. Even if we have extra rupee 5 coin, we cannot buy a product because we need to provide change to the shopkeeper. Shopkeeper is not going to provide any change, right? So we need to check if the required 1 rupee coins, if they are less than or equal to the rupee 1 coin available with us. If this condition is true, means if the expected 1 rupee coin is less than the 1 rupee coin that we have, then we are going to display that rupees 5 coin needed are E5 and rupees 1 coin required are E1. If it is false, in that case we are going to display simply -1. -1, as per the question, it is given that if exact change is not possible, then display -1, right? So if I execute, let me remove this. If I execute this, it is giving, like for this 31,619, for this inputs it is giving rupees 5 coin needed are 3 and rupees 1 coin required are 4, right? Now let me check it with for some other inputs like let me check the inputs that is given. So let us check for C1 is, let C1 is 2, C5 is 4, and amount that is available, let it be 21. So for this, if I execute, then it is giving rupees 5 coins that is required is 4 and rupees 1 coin that is required is 1. If I change the value of this to 11, this to 2, and the amount that I need to give, let it be 11. So now the answer is 5 rupee coin 2, 1 rupee coin 1. And if 1 rupee coin available is 3 and 5 rupee coin available is 3 and the amount that we want to pay is 19, and now if I execute this, it is displaying -1 because it is not possible. 5 rupee coin means 15, 3 rupee coin 3 rupees, so 15 plus 3 18, so it is not possible to pay, right? So in this way, even if we have, like suppose if I have this 5, I have 5 rupee 5 or 6, if I have 6 number of 5 rupee coin, then also the answer will be -1 because we will not be able to provide the change to the shopkeeper, right? So this is the solution for this fourth one. So if you have any doubt, you can put it in the comment box, and do subscribe my channel, share this video with your friends and colleagues. So thank you so much.